Welcome to Dance to Heal. I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. Join me as I share stories of how dance and movement can bring healing in a way that is safe and tailored to your life. I'm a cancer survivor, mother of two, and an award-winning performer who found that movement was vital to my recovery. I created Dance to Heal Wellness and also authored the best-selling book, Outside in Recovery, Dancing My Way Back to Myself After Breast Cancer. I will bring new techniques to help you on your dance journey and healing path. Are you ready to move? Dance to Heal starts now. So I'm such a special treat, y'all. Robert Morgan is in the house. Thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure.
All right, so we're going to get right into the nitty-gritty because I think you're on my podcast, this teeny little podcast, at a very opportune time, Robert. And here's the thing. We were speaking before the actual interview began, talking about being able to move beyond fear. And you were a professional fighter. Like you had to step out and fight somebody. Sometimes your size, sometimes bigger, sometimes smaller. You know, smaller ones, you still couldn't underestimate them, right?
Absolutely.
Right? And so tell us kind of like, how does one move beyond fear when we're in the ring ourselves in our own fight for our lives?
How do you, let me go back to in the boxing ring, okay?
Yes.
Fighting ring. My father first was a fighter in the Second World War because I'm that old. My father was and he trained my brother and I because my brother used to get in fights in the streets in the country town. We grew up in Australia. And my dad used these very words, you have to learn to defend yourself, son. So I went along, I was the youngest, and the whole idea was defending yourself, which in life now, you have to know how to defend yourself and say no. No is a great, powerful word, and everyone should learn to say it and say to themselves, no, I'm being stupid. No, I'm being afraid. No, I will not let that happen to me. And so through my boxing career, stepping out into a ring and facing someone, um, is with a sense of honor because I've trained, I respect who I'm looking at, and it's like a dance. Fighting is like a dance. It's movement, it's training, and it's release. There's similar things to being a fighter in a boxing ring, in a contained area like it is in acting. In theater, especially, and in film and television, you're contained within an area, but you're giving license, hopefully, to be free and creative. So the energy is the same. It's very, very intense between two people in the boxing ring and on a set. And so if you understand that concept, and I hate that word now that I've heard Donald Trump use it, it's awful. But you know where I stand on that sort of thing. But I think you have to train very hard. You have to know what you're doing. You have to be passionate, and you have to release your joy into what you do because whether it turns out bad or not, it doesn't matter because you're there fully. And I think releasing fear in a long circle back to releasing, not being afraid, letting go of your fear. I think that, yeah, that comes with understanding that we're not here forever. So you have to fulfill you. And it's not being selfish. It's saying, I'm me. I love some people around me. I care, but I want to be me. And I think you feel that about what you do. I mean, you are such a creative human being, your dance, your life, your family, and doing this, you do it. And there's a parameters where, oh yeah, I understand that, but you fill it with truth and honesty. And if you can understand that, and that's what I teach my son, find what you want to do, but be honest with yourself, number one. If you can't be that, you're going to be lost for a long time. Did that answer your question? I don't know.
Oh, I loved it. You touched on so many important things, and I want to share with the audience because all my guests are asked to give me a title of a master class where they
Oh, right.
you teach
Yes.
one. And yours was Stop Thinking, period, capital letters, B,
Yes.
period.
Yes. I think uh, in my particular area as an actor, performer, and I've done much work on stage and much work in film and television. Um, Acting is put on a pedestal, which I find ridiculous. Okay, it's like what 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 are you thinking? I mean, people are people. Okay, if they can reflect a life, a feeling, and commit and open. I respect actors because the good ones they can open themselves up to what's happening in the situation. Apart from that, who gives a shit about them? Okay, I don't care. I mean, you have your life, what have you, but in the moment, in the work, okay, you're being. You're not a lot of preparation, all these techniques, and I do respect everyone's journey to get to where they have to go. I adore that different, but it's overthought. It's overthought about, oh my God, if that character lifted my hand that way, that would mean so much more. Who gives a fuck? It's just you're in the moment with the other person. And if it's a monologue, fantastic. I've done a lot of Shakespeare, and I love monologues because it's so fucking selfish. Oh, did I swear? I'm sorry. It is so selfish, and because you are just being there, but it's dealing with the other person, the script, the other person in the scene. You have to be with them. It's like us now. Now you are listening to me, and and to recreate this in a fucking film or TV, it's like okay, 6 weeks rehearsal, write the script. Why did I move my hand that way or whatever? It doesn't matter. It's how we connect, within the parameters of what the writer and the director has seen, or even on the camera, the cinematographer. You can't go out there, we won't catch that movement, whatever. But it's being there with you, not overthinking. Because, of course, I will one thing, you have to know the work inside out, backwards, upside down, everything, so you know it's yours. Then when you're there, it's you and the other person. And that is what you capture when you get truth between actors, between people. So everything else is fucking bullshit, to me. Anyway.
I love it. I love it. When my son started his ballet training as a young man, he
Mm,
would lament to me, Robert, that he was so behind schedule. Like he was taking classes with younger kids
mm,
who had been doing it 10 years more than him. And I had to remind him, yes, Daniel, and you move people when you move. When you walk into the room, you start movement because you're so integrated into
yeah,
expression
yeah,
that you may not be technical, perfect.
mm,
However, you move people, and this
yes,
is from a perspective where I'm his mom, right? And
yeah,
usually moms have these rose-colored lenses about their children. I was speaking from the perspective of having co-coached him and his sister through
mm,
junior Olympics. They're Olympians.
wow,
He's a gold medalist, right?
wow,
So he's already overtrained and done that. Similar to what you're saying, Robert, where he knows how to work hard. When he was training for any type of ballet production, he would work it inside out and know. And once he's on the
yes,
stage, though, he would be able to be really present and in the moment
yeah,
and just grab someone by the heartstrings. And that's really the key of it, right? I think
absolutely,
a
yes.
lot, a lot of times, so audience members who are on the audio podcasting, I'm holding up a phone. We're usually on this gadget,
That silly gadget.
a silly gadget, right? That, of course, there are benefits to it. And it also has removed us from this eyeball
It's,
to eyeball type of.
yes, it has. I mean, that's I think have so much to do with the lack of empathy between human people. There's other kinds of people.
Cat people, human people, dog people.
Cat people, dog people. Um, but you look at dogs, right? They will look at you because they're connecting with you. Actually, mentioning dogs, they engage with your eyes, and it's a beautiful thing. We don't do it anymore. You can't look at someone in the eyes. You can't engage with them. Like I'm trying to look at your eyes, and I don't know where to look,
You
but
know,
yeah, but that is so true. The distractions, the phone is like you're sitting next to a whole complex thing that's taking millions of years to develop a human being. That's far more interesting than a fucking phone. I mean, I go along Hollywood Boulevard most days because I have lots of things to do and what have you. And I have great friends who are homeless people who I've seen for years. And it's like what I feel from them is that someone will talk to them, engage with them, and just listen for a moment. I can't help everybody, can't do that but to give a connection to someone, and as a performer, you give a connection, and like people say to me, I mean, a recent director said to me, "You have such presence. You don't even need to try to be mean, Rob. You look so strong and powerful when you're in there." And that was off a tape I did. I thought, "Oh, thank you so much," because I do have a sense of energy, which is the something your son has, because he's just there, and it comes out of him, whether he's trying or not, because he's when he turns it on the dance, he's alive. When I perform, I'm alive most times, except in a commercial. That's a lie. Um, but so I'm going in circles again. I'm sorry.
Oh, you never apologize, Robert. Honestly, because for me, the presence thing, I've had to remind both my children, right? They're young
Mhm.
adults now. When they go into something new, they're taking that life experience of
Yes,
training
yes.
with them into the room, similar to you. There's aspects of you from being in the ring and all the training and the discipline prior to that that you're bringing into the space. Whether or
Mm,
not you're aware of it, I'm certainly aware of it. You know,
mm.
I mentored a lot of dancers into storytelling
Yeah.
because I've won competitions and
Yeah,
awards for
you're a
that,
beautiful
right?
dancer, by the way. I
Thank
watch
you.
your clips all the time, and I see life and joy in what you do. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Mm,
For me, dancing is one of the few things that I can actually really communicate and talk with God for me
mhm.
because it's a
Yeah,
form of prayer. And so
yeah.
when I'm working with my dance people who want to tell stories, right? It's really about being really present, which brings me back again to the title that you presented. That's going to
Mm.
end up being the title of our episode, just so you know, because a lot of people they're not even comfortable being home in
Themselves.
their bodies.
No, they're
Yeah.
not. No. Or you froze. Oh, yeah, yeah. So yeah, absolutely. People will not be in themselves. They have to find uh, an exterior, and it's through what they look like, what they say, their indifference. They're not happy being themselves. And if people take a moment to meditate, to sit inside and watch the grass just like my view now is a rolling hill, the blue sky and some beautiful big trees. And it's like just engage with that and you connect with yourself instantly. And the breath is thing, Jen. People forget to breathe and actually feel that life going in them and out of them. And breath is so important as a performer, as you would know, and as an actor, certainly because when your mind, again, you're overthinking, your mind is full of shit, just take a breath and just be with me. And I say that to actors, I said, hey, just look at me and let's do this. Okay. And whether it's hate, anger, love, dis despising someone, it's all there within us. So let yourself breathe and let it all come out. Anyway, yeah, but you're right. People do not know how to be themselves. Like if you go somewhere where people don't have anything, and people who are economically, they're beautiful. Don't give a fuck. It's just them. And that is something which society rips away from you because you get sucked up into this. I must have this. I must have this. You know? Anyway, yeah.
I love that. I love that. I mean, even when I was dabbling in acting classes online because of the lockdown, I had
Right.
access to all these teachers, right, in LA
Mm.
because no one could teach in person. I was very sad when we went to in-person classes. However, and I remember the teachers always saying, "Do you have life experience to draw on? That's who you are versus trying to make up something for the scene." And
Mm.
you're just this quintessential example of it for me when you were saying, "Just be here with me." I think that that's really, really important. Audience, do you hear this? Like my YouTube people, look at Robert right now. Wouldn't it be amazing to have to just be in the same space with him and have him going, just be here with me?
Mm,
Very few of us have that opportunity to have someone literally look at you and really see you.
mm. Yeah, it doesn't happen. And when you do it, people get offended.
Really?
Yes. If like I make a point, look, and of um uh, doing this, and I've learned this a lot, and from people I know very well, and some a group of people. I won't go into that, but it's like if you look at someone, like if I'm like I'm saying I'm in a room with you, and I just look at you and nobody else because you're talking, and if I'm not doing this,
Hmm.
I'm doing this. People say, what's wrong? What's on my face? What do you want? I'm just listening to you. And that honest intensity scares people. It really fucking does. And it's so sad. But that's you can really lift someone up if you look at them and listen to them and get them to reveal them, whether maybe they want to or not, but you see them. And I think that's so important. And I do that, not as a tool, but because I want to know them and I want them to see me, you know. And it's also respect, which is lacking in this world, unfortunately.
Yes, I think it's also lacking in themselves.
Yes, yes.
People, we don't respect ourselves anymore. There's such a disconnect between the brain and body.
Yeah, they don't think they're good enough. The brain it gets um, full of falsehoods, full of that, and the body is always truthful. You can't, and our spirit is always truthful. Our spirit always knows what's going on. Your gut feeling, that's your spirit saying, yeah, or great, whatever, and that's the mind is the devil trying to fuck you up. And I'm not particularly religious, to be honest with you, but I believe in spirituality and goodness. I think we are innately good people, but it gets fucked up.
Well, I think what's really important, and I like the real talk that you're saying because if you're not connected and present and able just to even just listen to someone, then how are you even hearing yourself and what you really need?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You are presenting falsehoods because you're not actually listening. I love this saying. I've seen it so often. You're not talking or engaging to hear. You're engaging to answer, which is such a different thing. And you see that in acting. When's it my line? When do I say my fucking line? Instead of saying, I'm going to actually listen to what you say and and let myself answer that, you know. Instead of just saying, "Oh, it's my turn, speak," blah blah blah. Yeah,
Oh, that's
politicians do
pivotal.
it all the time.
Yeah.
Just listen to answer, not listen to understand or engage. Yeah,
So
anyway,
I'm gonna tie this back though to whole like
yeah,
being a dog person or a cat person. Like I have both.
yeah.
Cats never worry about anyone else's timeline.
No, they're great. They give a
They're
fuck.
they're very, very present in what they
Yes,
need and their boundaries are. They're not afraid
yes.
to be
No,
like,
no, they're not. They're not afraid. Of course, we have a huge dog chasers and they have fear, but they're not afraid to be themselves.
they're
And I love that. And I tie that back to me. I have 11 fire signs because I'm a Leo. So I'm a complete cat. So I don't give a fuck.
and I think that that's really important. I think being a cat person is accessible to everybody.
Yes. Yes, it is. But people are afraid, and it's like, and I don't know how society regains that sense of, hey, you're okay. Be you and just I'll be me. And it's
Well,
fine.
I think that, well, you're key. You're part of it because audience, whoever's listening or watching this, right? You were pulled here because you saw Robert was the guest today. And this is a perfect way. He gave us some examples, like look and see what's around you. Take a breath and feel the air even coming into your body, right?
I mean, isn't it a wonderful? I'm sorry interrupting,
Go
but
ahead.
it's a, a beautiful moment when you feel your body, feel that life going into you, and this is what we're here for. We're only here for a short time. For fuck's sake, it goes so quick, and that's something. Sorry, I interrupted you, Jen. I'm
Oh no,
sorry.
no, I love that because here's the thing. This whole interview is a perfect example of that. I can't believe I'm already at time that I have to cut off the recording. This is killing me. I'm gonna get in
Oh,
trouble with my editor, Robert. Like, will you come back when you're back? Because you're
yeah,
about to go
I'll
out
be
of town.
back. I'm in the middle of November.
Okay, wonderful. We're gonna have to you come back and do a part 2 to this.
Yes.
All right, great. Thank you so much for being here, folks. You can find Robert Morgan everywhere on social media. We'll also put those links in the descriptions for this episode. Please,
Thank you.
please look him up, support him in everywhere. And he's also said he's open to talking to you. I mean, I wouldn't approach him like as a stranger on the street unless you say, "Oh, I saw you on Jenny's podcast." Okay, folks?
I'm happy for people to email me, if any questions about acting, about life. I'm no teacher. I just live my life. But acting, I
Well,
know quite a bit about.
that's amazing. Thank you so much for offering that to the audience. Thank you for coming. Folks, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Dance to Heal with Jenny C. Cohen. Come back next time to hear stories of recovery through movement and learn more ways that you can move your body. To work with me and continue your journey, visit OutsideInRecovery.com. Are you ready to move?